I'm going to explain how Apple has had a positive impact on today's music society. Apple was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. It is an American multinational technology company that is located out of Cupertino, California. Apple designs, develops, and sells consumer electronics, computer software, and online services. Apple is the world's largest information technology company by revenue, the world's largest technology company by total assets, and the world's third highest mobile phone manufacturer. In 2014, Apple became the first U.S. company to be valued at over $700 billion. There has been a constant debate on whether Apple has affected the music industry positively or negatively. My purpose for this project is to clarify that. In my opinion, Apple has had a positive impact on the music industry. I will be breaking this video into 3 parts: iTunes and how it allows easier access to music, negative aspects of Apple, and how Apple has leveled the playing field for artists. iTunes was released on January 9, 2001. Through iTunes, music listeners can purchase and download music, music videos, television shows, audiobooks, podcasts, movies, and movie rentals. It was so successful that iTunes sold over 2 million songs in the first few weeks after being released. Once you buy a song, that song goes directly to your iPod, which gives you the opportunity to listen to it instantly. iTunes allows a chance for people to instantly purchase a song and be able to listen to it within seconds. Max Blau is the multimedia editor at Paste Magazine, where he oversees all audio, video, and photo content that goes onto the magazine's website. He wrote an article on Mashable.com regarding the use of iPods and how they affect the consumers. In the article, he interviewed people who own iPods and use iTunes, and he specifically stated this quote said by one of his interviewees. "I was on the Crosstown bus in Manhattan during a snowstorm and had a sudden urge to listen to some Bob Marley. Needless to say, it brightened up my mood and showed me the power of the iPod." With the opinion of the public, it is easier to see how people believe that Apple has affected the music industry in a positive way. When debating a topic, it is very important to take a look into both sides of the argument. When you research both sides, you can defend your side of the argument and also explain how you believe the other side's reasoning is not all that correct. While looking into the negative aspects of Apple, I found that people believe Apple and iTunes destroyed the album/CD era. Now there is no doubt that the sale of albums and CDs have decreased since iTunes was released, but what many people do not look at is the years before Apple and iTunes. In an article on TheCurrent.com, author Andrea Swenson showed how CD sales have increased over the years. The interesting thing about the graph is that CD sales started to decrease in 1999, but Apple wasn't released until 2 years later in 2001. Napster, a peer-to-peer file-sharing internet service that focused on sharing audio files, typically music, encoded in an MP3 format, was one of the first online music services. It was released in 1999, right when CD/album sales fell rapidly. Napster opened the door to many other online music services, including LimeWire, Madster, Grokster, and Scour. All 4 of these music services were founded before Apple. Based on this data and information, it is clear to see that Apple was not the main cause of the fall of CD/album sales. Napster and other online music services were the initial cause. Apple was simply evolving with the music industry. Through GarageBand, Apple has created ways for artists to make music and let it be heard by many. GarageBand is a software application created by Apple that allows users to make multiple tracks with pre-made keyboards, pre-made loops, voice recordings, and various instrumental effects. It has given many young artists the opportunity to show off their musical talents. Kate Nash, an indie songstress, used GarageBand to create her debut album, Made of Bricks. That album reached the #1 spot on the UK Albums Chart. Kate Nash is now a famous singer-songwriter that tours all over the world. In February 2008, she won the Brit Award for Best Female Artist. Without GarageBand, Kate Nash may have never been able to pursue her dream of becoming an artist. Now GarageBand is not being used by young artists. It is also being used by many well-known artists. Some of those artists include Rihanna and T-Pain. T-Pain explained once how one of his first hits, I'm in Love with a Stripper, was made with GarageBand. He said he was in the studio and the power went out, so he grabbed his laptop and created the song in about 2 hours. For Rihanna, she used GarageBand to create the drum intro in her very well-known song, Umbrella. Let's take a look at that drum intro.
Cheer. Rihanna. Good girl going bad. Take 3.
That beat is actually the vintage Funk Kit 03 loop slowed down to 90 BPM from GarageBand. We all hear these songs and never really know where they come from besides the artist. Without GarageBand, many of the songs you hear could not have been created, and many of the artists you hear may not have had the chance to be heard. The argument of whether Apple has had a positive impact or negative impact on the music industry has been going on for a while. I believe it is very important to analyze the key points of each argument. As a creator of this video, I hope to push my key points onto the audience and persuade them to consider what I am saying. If that happens, I believe I have created an effective rhetorical video.